What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video! ADHD is going a little crazy this morning, but I hope you guys are doing well, and if you guys are new to the channel, that's a big old welcome to what I'm all about. But today, we're going to continue builds with a nice, good old Warlock build this time, actually utilizing the Stormdancer's brace, which gives us a little bit of extra damage with our Stormtrance, so very good synergy this season, if you will, or episode, I should say, and we're going to be taking this into GMs to show you guys that it works with ease in any type of content. So for our armor perk right here, we're gonna have Ascending Amplitude. Each target we defeat with the Stormtrance increases damage and refunds super energy when the super ends, while Stormtrance is active. Ionic Blink costs less, so we're gonna be able to bounce around the map a bunch, as well as get some nice DPS on this bad boy. Obviously, Geomags is the meta right now, and definitely better overall in my personal opinion, but this bad boy is showing that you don't have to use a certain build all the time, because that gets boring and you can switch it up and still get through that end game content while having a little bit of fun. So for us right here in the Storm Color Super, we're gonna have our Stormtrance, of course, because jolting targets, and with the Stormdancer's brace that we got on our chest piece, I went with the Healing Rift, Strafe Glide, as well as Ball Lightning. I really like the Ball Lightning right here because, well, amplified, it's going to do some additional lightning strikes before detonating, so feels really good because we're going to get amplified quickly with pulse grenades as well on this bad boy. I did go with Ionic Sentry, so defeating targets with kinetic or arc weapons or arc abilities charges up an arc turret, which chains lightnings between targets and grants us that new bolt charge, which is disgusting. We use our grenade button to deploy that Ionic Sentry turret, which is super nice in my opinion, because with the weapons you will see in a second, we're going to be able to get this very quickly. On top of that, we're going to be using Arc Soul, which counts as an arc ability, so that feeds right back into Ionic Sentry, and the amplification is going to make them supercharged, which gains them increased rate of fire. So very good little synergy that we're getting with doing damage with our arc abilities, weapons to get Ionic Sentry to proc, plus Arc Souls in general. Super nice for just kind of keeping enemies at bay, especially those rank and file enemies. On to our 4 arc fragments that are probably on 99 or 95 whatever percent of builds. They are all over the place with these bad boys, but we got ourselves Spark of Feedback, Spark of Magnitude, Spark of Shock, and Spark of Resistance. So feedback is going to give us a little bit more melee damage when we take melee damage, so our Ball Lightning going to be doing a little bit better. Our Pulse Grenade is going to last longer on the ground, allowing us to get even more defeats with it, plus adding even more jolt to those targets, because that Pulse Grenade is also going to add jolt to them, which is super nice for us. And then the last, with that Resistance, just in general, while we are surrounded, we are going to become more resistant to incoming damage, so helping with that endgame content and stuff that hits like a tank. Now, on to this build. We're going to be using the Smite of Moraine, Delicate Tomb, as well as Watchful Eye. Watchful Eye with Eddy Current jolting feedback, very good at stunning overload champions, plus jolting feedback, even more arc applied to this build. Delicate Tomb, more Ionic Traces for us, which in turn, more ability energy, more Storm Callers being cast, and then Demolition is Firefly on this Smite of Moraine, so we're going to get that Pulse Grenade back very quickly, and Ad Clear with this weapon is super disgusting, at least in my personal opinion. One of my favorite normal legendary pulse rifles in the game. Next, we're going to move on to our mods as well as our stats. So double 100s in the recovery, resilience, so we can stay alive, recovery, so we can throw down that rift, healing rift to get ourselves those arc souls consistently. Then we're going to go with harmonic siphon, kinetic siphon, so both of our weapons going to create us orbs of power with heavy ammo finder, so we never run out in our LMG. We're going to have impact induction, momentum, bolstering detonation. All of these basically just cause internal feedback loops, so causing damage with melee is going to give us our grenade, causing damage with grenades going to give us our melee, and then also causing damage with our grenade is going to give us our class ability, so our rift is going to be able to be procced more often as well. Chest piece, like always, totally up to you, the content you are going into GMs and stuff like that, might want to triple stack stuff out, but what I was going through went with that double arc and a void resistance. As for my boots, recuperation, orbs of restoration, absolution, both of these are going to help to give us back our ability energy, whether it be all of our abilities or the one with the least amount of energy when we pick up those orbs of power. And then we're also going to get health back when we pick up orbs of power, so adding to the survivability with this build. And then special ammo finisher with powerful attraction Reaper, so more orbs of power being created because of Reaper. After we throw down our rift, we're going to get those defeats with weapons, generating us even more orbs. Powerful attraction, all those orbs in a nearby radius going to come right to us when we use it. And then also special ammo finisher, when we do have that armor charge finishing those enemies, going to give us special ammo, so basically just keeping all of our weapons up and ready to go. Last but not least, our Tablet of Ruin right here. We're going to be using that overload machine gun as well as unstoppable fusion, so you can switch out your delicate tomb if you would like. So this will work because it is not working at the moment, at least with the unstoppable fusions, but we do want that overload machine guns. Overclock and load with deep alchemy. I mean, there's really nothing else in this slot that works, so more for the overclock and load. Well, amplified or have bolt charges, arc weapons gain increased handling and reload. Hold the line, that machine gun when we are surrounded going to have increased reload stability as well as heal us on final blows. Dielectric, defeating arced debuff targets grants us bolt charges. Bolt charges are disgusting this episode, obviously, with everything that you see in most builds. Photonic flare, defeating an exhausted or severed target with an arc. Damage releases blinding, so not too shabby. Blinding is one of the most powerful verbs in the game, keeping powerful enemies at bay with no issues. And then we're going to have elemental siphon in this column as well, so rapid final blows with kinetic or weapons that match our equipped super are going to create us elemental pickups, so even more ionic traces for us, which is super nice, getting our super back, getting our abilities back. Flash over in this column right here, so we can get that maximum number of bolt charges to give us a really good amount of damage with the lightning bolts, and we're going to become amplified with that. Heavy ordnance regeneration right here, dealing sustained damage with that machine gun is going to grant us damage resistance, plus it's going to give us back our grenade and melee back a little bit quicker, so again feeding into the synergy that we have inside of beautiful little, I don't even know what it's called, inside of our Ionic Sentry. There we go, as well as our Arc Souls that we got. Sorry, my brain's like shutting down a little bit. Limit Break right here, casting a super. Well, you are critically wounded or have elemental buffs, so for us, when we have that amplified or critically wounded, our super's going to do even more damage, which does stack with the Stormdancer's brace that we're getting damage-wise after defeating targets. So this build does very good damage on those enemies, as well as defeating just wave after wave of enemy if you want to use it for that sense. But it does do a good little bit of damage as well to champions, bosses like that you can reach if you are going into something like that. That's one of the reasons why Chaos is a little bit better for sure in most situations, because its range for doing damage is better. But with this build specifically, Limit Break with that Stormtrances and everything that we're getting, we're going to get supers back very quickly with this build. We're also going to get some pretty juicy damage on those supers, a bunch of ionic traces going around, a bunch of orbs of power, so we're never running out of ammo with this build either, because of being charged with that armor charge, doing finishers on enemies. Very good bolt charge consistent as well. So Warlocks, give this a try out if you're sick of using these same old builds over again. You know what I'm talking about. Throwing on a well, having to use div or something like that. Throwing on Geomags, something like that. You know, switch it up a little bit, test this bad boy out, let me know what you think of it, but I really do like it a bunch. So again, appreciate all you guys for coming back to the channel. Don't be afraid to like, subscribe, hit that bell if you haven't, so you guys get all the notifications on this builds, guides, begoddles, whatever I'm putting out on the channel. Means a lot to me, means a lot to the channel. Also join up on the Discord if you would like, because we're trying to build that bad boy out, help you guys through GMs, raids, dungeons, etc. Also trying to get it popping, having some anime nights, watching movies. I'm a big movie nerd, as well as I love me some animes. You know what I mean. All you degens out there love it too. So really appreciate you guys again. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.